rtfc.baconicecream.com.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Evercast, your weekly dose of Evercade goodness. I'm one of your hosts, Rich. Of course, I'm here with Ed, Retro KillDashNine. What's going on, man?
Hey.
What's up? And of course, Crow. What's going on?
Yep, that
Bro.
What's up? So yeah, we got a good show for you today. Hanging out, talking about some cool stuff, little holiday hangover, as it were. Getting over some cool stuff that was happening with the fam and all that kind of thing. We got some cool articles to go over at evercade.co.uk blog. We'll check some stuff out there, and then we got some polls and some chat. So just kind of a cool little show for you today. But first, let's dive into the chat itself. Say hi to Lloyd R. Jim. What's going on? Back from the Dead is in the house. Nick the Toy Collector's here. How's it going? Dan Nastic, he's fired up. What's up? Julian D, what's going on? Anthony Davidson, what's going on? Nicholas, what's up? We got Dan Ruff in the house. What else we got? John Scheineman, what's up? What's going on? And Ian Hobbies is here. How's it going? Rob Taylor, what's up? DJ? Lee Delve? That Sean guy, he's here.
Big trouble.
What's going on? And Carson, what's up? That's cool. How was everybody's week? Let's start off with that.
That's pretty good. It's the week where you get a lot more emails than usual.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because everybody wants to sell you something.
And that's it. Yes. And if they don't want to sell you something, then they're looking to get stuff done before they leave for the holiday.
Right?
That's it. So yeah, it was pretty good over here too. Just before in the pre-show, we were talking about fire pits. You got a new fire pit in the backyard, and that was a good time. So that was the.
See, you'd actually have to live someplace that gets colder, like in Texas. It's a fire pit like all year round. No.
Yeah, it's just like, if I just look outside, it's actually on fire right now.
Actually, I think we do have like a little small something that maybe we've used once because maybe there's like a short time, year where we could actually use it. But no, believe me, I would love to like be able to use like a fireplace, like but I don't want to live someplace where it's too cold. Actually, it was a little bit colder here, like not snow cold, but it was kind of nice.
What's a little bit cold for you?
Yeah.
Like the 40s or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely chilly. You'd put a breaker on or something, yeah.
No, I just have to remind people, like, I did grow up in Iowa, and I know what it's like for it to be, like, negative, like, degree weather.
My dad lived in the Chicago area his whole life until about 15, 20 years ago when he moved to Arizona. And now he says that, like, he's like 70 degrees is too cold for him.
Wow.
He needs a coat.
Yeah, I'd probably die now.
Meanwhile,
Chicago's pretty close to Iowa. It's only like a 5 hour.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Only 5 hours away.
T-shirt. You get spoiled because once it gets to be like 60 or so, then I'm like, oh man, yeah, no, I feel you.
Well, we already had like the part where we dropped down to the teens, and it was probably even colder with the wind chill. So I was out in that. So now when the weather's back up into the 40s, I'm just going out. I'm not even putting a coat on if I'm going outside.
Oh man, that's good stuff. So we've also had some other people hop in. RMGB TV, what's going on? He's down. He's ready to rock. Ballistic Coffee Boy's here. That's good. That's an interesting question for me and hobbies. What's left in the fridge?
Oh yeah.
I have
we're eating on that.
Turkey, corn fritters, and I think a whole thing of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly. So our family, like sometimes when it's Thanksgiving, you go hard in the paint trying to get as much food as possible, and all of us were very mild. You had like plate, maybe go in for a little bit of seconds, but not like a full plate of seconds. It was very unusual this Thanksgiving holiday. But as a result, our fridge, we can't fit anything more because we still have like 3/4 pies. So one person only took one piece of the one pie. There was like 4 or 5 on the table. So like everyone had like one slice, and then we just put it all away. it was strange. We have like still like half a turkey. We've got like a full probably serving and a half of family style mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. We got all sorts of stuff there. It's a wild time. We'll be eating that for days.
We'll be eating that until Monday, and then like anything else we just throw away if there's a little bit, because I mean most of it should get eaten. But it was neat though. Like yesterday for lunch I had leftovers, and then for dinner just had pumpkin pie. And I was like, Rigatoni! Yay! I haven't seen him for ages.
Yeah. Is green bean casserole good? Yeah. I mean it's pretty tasty. Depends on how it's made though. I gotta watch out because a lot of green bean casserole sometimes they'll put in like those little onion flakes and can't have those. I'm like allergic to the onions, so can't do that. So, but yeah, good times. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a really cool thing. It's good stuff. I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Yeah, how much did you guys make yourself?
I
gotta think about how much of the food did you make?
I know what you mean. What you bought. So actually, my wife, God love her, no, she cooked everything except for like even the cranberry sauce, except for like the desserts, like the pumpkin pies and whatnot.
Yeah,
I told her next year she needs to take a break because she worked too hard, which we all appreciate, but
Yeah, well, all of our stuff on our side was handmade except for 3 of the pies. Everything else was made by someone.
Is the definition of handmade though? Is it count if somebody else made it and
well,
you bought
that's
it?
what I think he means. Like, did you cater someone else? Did other people bring food? Did you guys like order out? Yeah, I get it.
Well, like there's like we didn't do it this year, but sometimes it's like you buy the vegetables and all you got to do is throw them in the microwave to heat them up.
Exactly.
And does that count as cooking it yourself?
I mean, I guess like,
microwave
kind of works, but if there's some kind of preparatory step before the cooking happens, I think that makes it handmade because you're altering the food before you cook it.
The only thing I know if that was cooked for sure was the turkey, and I think my father-in-law deep fried 3 turkeys. He usually does 3 or 4.
Nice. That is cool.
I've done that. I've done that before. That's pretty. Like that can be pretty cool.
Oh, the Thanksgiving buffet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty neat.
Meta
levels of cooking. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's. That's really cool.
Hey,
well, the funny thing is, I don't like beer, to be honest. I've never found a beer I like.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm good for back when I used to be able to actually have like proper beer. I was always good for like a traditional lager, Guinness. Very good times.
Oh, so since alcohol was brought up, so my wife got like this thing of like bourbon. And I don't know how big it was, but anyways, she said, "Hey, this is used for cooking. You can have like a little bit of it, or I don't know. I think like in my brain, like I heard like have what you want, and like I swear, like I started to sip a little bit, but just kept a good buzz on, of course, don't want to be sick, and it's full. But like towards the end of the day, she's like, "Do you realize?" She's like, "That whole thing was like $20. There's only this much left," and I'm like, I'm sorry. I just didn't because you pour a little bit, put some on ice, sip some, maybe like another hour later, as you get older, hopefully you learn to pace yourself. But I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh.
I use bourbon for cough syrup, and I drink it straight from the bottle.
Hey, come on down. Come on down. I'll keep the fire pit warm for you guys. For sure.
Oh, man.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then outside of that though, before we get into some of the topics, were there any holiday gaming things happening? Did we guys play on Thursday? Like any kind of cool things you play with the fam or anything like that?
Not with the family, but I've been getting sucked into Cathedral like big time. Although what's funny is it's kind of like you'll have to complete these tasks to get a thing, and you're like, okay, cool. Now I get to go to the boss, and then you go through the door, and it's like, oh, now you got to do the whole. Now here's a whole nother level you got to do. Then you can. But it's kind of neat that they. It's kind of neat that they do that. But the one thing that I really do like about that game, in true sense of a Metroidvania, is that while there are places they want you to go, you can go to other places and get like other items, like more potions and stuff
That's cool.
to help you. So yeah, that game I'll play, and then kind of depending, take a break, and then it's like come back to it because it's, you know, after a while. The one thing I will say is I did a little bit of handheld gaming. It's definitely not the same on the handheld because it really does utilize all 4 of those buttons. Like to use a potion, you have to like hold, select, and press it. I mean, I think it's cool that it's there, but like when the EXP comes out, like now I know why we have those extra triggers.
Yeah, you have the extra. Yeah, they'll be there on there.
Oh,
yeah.
I was wondering if somebody would bring that up.
It is just kind of hanging out there.
yeah, really? Did I? Yeah, just because we're gonna save that for card tonight. But let's just say, that counts like for my Christmas present this year, probably my birthday next year, and maybe Father's Day. But yeah, don't keep that like next to your bed because when I got out. So yeah, I've been tinkering, and I've been playing around with that. And all I will say, because it is the $400 model, but after that got pre-ordered, like that sold out. Oh well, you have to. That model's on a wait list again until like January, February. I was glad that I got it when I did. But yeah,
nice.
We'll talk more about that tonight. But I was wondering if anyone had noticed. No, it's the souped-up EXP version. But tonight I am going to talk about, like, you know, for the next console, like why I got that. Don't worry, I still love Evercade. My main channel will still be Evercade. No one has to worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have the option of getting a Cathedral on Steam and playing it on the Steam Deck.
Do a little comparison.
Yeah, but then I would have to start all over with my save, and I don't know.
I'm going to do that. I've been playing it on the Switch because I've had it on the Switch, but when I will start it over again when I do get it.
I could see like once you beat it, maybe doing that, but otherwise it's I don't know how many hours it's like we need that firmware update to see how many hours. It's weird because like Owl counts how many hours, but that doesn't.
It's interesting. I could figure out how many hours since I was playing on the Switch. Maybe I'll figure that out because I only played up to a certain point and then I stopped, and it was because I wanted to get that patch, and I just did the bare minimum to get the patch.
Nice. Cast. Ooh, that would be.
Funny. Who knows? I mean, well, there's 2 people that happen anyway.
Oh yeah. So I should say for everybody, Pete's like internet went down, which really sucks.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. So he might pop in, but we don't know.
I hope I hope he does.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll get sorted soon.
No, I wound up.
Well, because I'm wearing the shirt, actually, this one will fit perfect. KillDashNine. Oh yeah. I just realized. But full confession. That's why I was a little bit late because my brain was on like Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
And because of the like the Steam sales, like you could like it was only like $2 to get like that Galaga and Dig Dug, and then like Miss Pac-Man is 99 cents. So
that's cool.
I had to re-get that on the deck.
The individual ones, or is that part of like a collection?
So the Miss Pac-Man is by itself, because of licensing. Like that's not part of a collection.
Yeah.
But Galaga, Dig Dug, and Pac-Man are. And like normally that's $8 and that's $2. And Pac-Man, like Miss Pac-Man is $4 and normally it's $1.
Nice.
Which, by the way, we really do need to get like Retro Dodo on the Evercade. Oh my god, that game is
really good.
We really,
very
cool. Need, because it's weird. Like that was one of the ones like that wasn't on PS4. I know it's on the Switch, but we need like that needs to happen on Evercade. That's all I have to say.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's cool, and I'm interested to hear, what you have to say. It's like another added opinion, on top of Pete, because of course, Pete
I kind of wish he was here because just watching other YouTubers, like everybody kind of had like an influence. Like Pete had an influence because he's spoken a lot about like why he hates the Analog Pocket. So because in the metaverse of all the different devices, but yeah. We'll dive more into that tonight, but this is just a tease.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. So, yeah, I mean, around here, the TV did go on. We did have some game time playing around in the living room, but the kids wanted to. It's all about those car games. So we played some Hot Wheels. We got the Hot Wheels Unleashed game on the Switch.
I have that too. I just never played it yet.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. And you know, it's a little difficult for the kids. You know, some of the races, you know, like are actually like difficult. It's like it's trying to teach you how to take corners correctly and like get a really good line and get a good time. But when you're almost 7, you just want to hit the button and just go like Mario Kart, right? So it's a little hard for them, and they played for like a half hour, and then they were like, "No, we're done. Let's play Mario Kart." So then they played Mario Kart for like an hour and a half before dinner, and then after dinner, it was pretty awesome because my nephew remembered that after they were here like a month and a half ago for a Sunday dinner, and after that one particular, it was just after I put the cabinet together, and my brother-in-law played some, so he remembered that and asked me, he's like, "Oh, can I play some games on the cabinet?" And they wound up finding some like Capcom robot fighting game, and they were going at it for another hour after dinner.
Cyberbots?
Dude, that's awesome.
Right. That's exactly right. That's the
I was
one.
hoping you'd say that. Like, hey guys, I got an arcade machine in here, loaded with tons of tons of games.
But it was just really awesome to see them just like, going at it on Cyberbots. Because that, it just opens the door, because then when I'm hopeful to get like a spare VS. I'm gonna throw one of those out there in the living room and see what happens then. And then maybe if we can get some more, like we can do Fighters History, I guess, but it's not as flashy as Cyberbots.
There's Weapon Lord.
Yeah, Weapon Lord, I guess. Yeah, you could do that. But it would be kind of.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the Namco? Is it on Namco? Because if it is,
that's right.
Yeah, you can't play it.
I was thinking Gun Lord. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to get him into.
Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter and Clay Fighter 2.
Yeah.
I was thinking Gun Lord, which is a totally different. That would actually be another great game to come to. I didn't think that to mean that to monopolize the chat. So I will answer that real quick. Yes, just over the years of Humble Bundle, I think I have like 400 games, and that might have factored it, in the decision. So yeah, I do have a ton of.
I've got a crazy Steam library too, and it's it's sad because I just keep getting either Humble Bundles or something like that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I actually bought one not too long ago from like I don't know, it was like some whatever Game.io whatever website, and there was like 30 or 40 Steam codes. I haven't even put them in yet. I have the email. I just didn't even load up the client to put it in.
Now you can give them the
I just checked. I have way more Steam games than I thought I did. I have 564.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a crazy time.
And whatever whatever else, but yeah, that seems to be the common platform for.
There's a scoop right there. At our gym, VGP coming in hot with the VS Black Friday deal. That's pretty cool.
What's VGP? I can't remember. Video
Games
Plus. Let's see. How great is it?
Let's see. You got all sorts of fun stuff. Sales on now. So I have to search again.
Evercade. I should have gone straight to Evercade.
Yeah. There is an Evercade.
But just so you'll know, I haven't bought any Capcom collections. I'm not going to do that. Like I haven't anything that exists on Evercade.
Oh, the VS Premium Pack is
it's 40 Canadian off. That's not bad. That is not bad.
But the starter pack is sold out, so
I bet you it was on sale. It's sold out now, though. I bet you that one was on sale. That's what I was looking for, a starter pack, because I mean I don't need extra carts, but if I can get a VS on the cheap, that was cool. I'm waiting for Amazon. Amazon last year, somebody had the VS. It was right after it came out too. It was crazy. They had the single cart VS, came down all the way to like $70 or something. I was like, sweet.
Wow.
I would have jumped on it, but yeah, that's good. That's cool. It's very neat. Yeah, that's the problem, right, John? He has 725 games. He's maybe played a third of them. That's exact. It's like every Steam owner.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. He said that.
And some of them, like I'm looking through the list, is like, what is this game? I don't even remember buying it.
Exactly. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like anything else, you got to be careful of like the Netflix effect.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, well, I mean, a little off topic, Andy, but yeah, no, VCS. Atari had a pretty banger Black Friday sale on Atari.com over the holiday. So they had the VCS all in bundle, and it approached $200. It was like 230 something, which is not bad. You know, for the VCS 2 controllers, it's not bad at all.
It's actually twice as much as I paid.
Well, I mean, yeah, you get the GameStop deal, but you know, like that's going to be few and far between. But you know, like that's an actual okay deal. It's, I mean, better than $400, that's for sure. And then they had
did they give any games or just the
the game store had a like up to 40% off, I think, on a whole bunch of different games. And I'm hoping that it's still on, because then when I heard about it like on a disc. Somebody dropped it on Discord, and I wasn't able to turn on my VCS at all yesterday. So
you know what they need to do? For $250, they're going to come out with the Atari 50th special edition VCS, and it'll like say Atari 50th on it. You'll get both controllers. You'll get the edition, and you'll get like the first couple like collections.
I really don't want. I mean, I want them to do that, and I don't.
I know.
If they do that, then I'll have to buy another one, and then I'll have 3 VCSs in my house, and that's too bad.
I know. But that would be cool. I think if they did like a bundle like that, especially with Atari 50 being really big, I think that would get people.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, the Atari 50th collection is not on sale.
No, well, the Atari 50th is actually still not even on the VCS yet.
Oh, you mean on the VCS? Because I did see somewhere where that was on sale somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, the physical edition, I think, went on sale for like $5 or $10 off or something like that.
Actually, I think it was like $20 somewhere.
Really? That's crazy. So, yeah, it's wild. So anyway, that's an awesome time. So if you're looking for our premium pack, I mean, you get a good deal over there on the VGP. But let's jump in to some of the like a news / just story related topics. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that dropped right before the holiday on evercade.co.uk. And the first one we're going to do is the article about which games at launch are going to feature Tate mode, which is pretty cool. This is by Sean, if he's still in the chat. You know, it's a pretty good article. It features all sorts of cool stuff. It basically just explains what Tate mode is and how it's pronounced and all that kind of stuff. But the meat and potatoes of this is right here in this part of the article here in the red. It's all the games that are going to be available in Tate mode and which collections are going to be on. So it's basically all of the arcade collections, or almost all the arcade collections, have some kind of Tate mode game, and then you know, of course Capcom, which is the built-in a lot of the arcade games there. So on Technos, it's Battle Lane Volume 5, Mania Challenge, Minky Monkey, and Mysterious Stones. All make sense because they are all like, you know, those super, I guess, I don't know, like reverse letterbox games. Data East, Burger Time, Darwin, 4078, and Lock and Chase. So that definitely makes a whole lot of sense as well. Darwin 4078 actually, I think, would be a really awesome. Thanks.
Dan.
Darwin 4078, I think, you know, will definitely look really, really cool in Tate mode, because it is really like it'll be, I think, like super full screen in that sense. And I was actually just playing that a little earlier this week, as I wasn't able to deliver on actually putting the videos out for the arcade Fun for Fives, but I'm actually now almost complete with them, so they will come out starting next week, which is awesome. Oh, cool. And Data East Arcade, all I gotta say, a little spoiler alert, is it's way stronger than I thought it was. like way stronger than I thought it was, and you'll see it in the video.
Dude, Burger Time! I'm really looking forward to playing that in Tate mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's still like one of the best arcade collections. I love Data East.
Yeah, I mean Data East. Like, I mean, again, it's surprising how good all that stuff was on there. Atari Arcade One's got Centipede, Millipede, and Super Breakout. Again, all makes sense. All were in that style when they originally came out.
What we need is a trackball, and a dial.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. You got to get your Tate mode trackball and dial attachments.
Plug that into the USB-C.
For
Hold
your EXP.
one hand, and then you use the trackball together. Yeah.
Exactly. Jelko One arcade is got Psy Battler, and then on Toa Plan, which is coming out soon, you've got Slap Fight, Flying Shark, Tiger Hilly, and Truxton, all cool games to be had in the Tate mode. And then I think it's the biggest mix is on the Capcom collection, which makes sense because it is built into the EXP. 1942, 43, Commando, Legendary Wings, Mercs, and Vulgus. So all sorts of really awesome stuff there. And, it's really neat to see that there will be so many available to play in Tate mode at launch. So if you have all the collections like we do, you can just go right in, jump right in, and start using the mode and see if you like holding the EXP like that. And well,
you don't even need all the collections. You just need most of the arcade collections, because I think the only arcade collections that don't have a game that utilizes it would be Galco 1, Galco 2, and it seems like Irem, since it's not on the list.
Correct. Yep.
So if Sean is still in the chat, so I have a question for him to see if he had this vision or if it's just a coincidence. Knowing that like a lot of these games would be better in Tate mode, like for instance, like when Data East came out, we knew we couldn't play Burger Time obviously in it. Did they know at some point that they were going to release a handheld with Tate mode? Because what's awesome, and the only reason I bring that up, because what's awesome is that, remember way back when we wanted to play 2-player games and we couldn't, but you could select 2 players, and then the VS came out. So it's awesome that Blaze has it seems like to have a pattern of, hey, here are these other cool features and things you can't use right now, but you might be able to use them at some point. So I love, I love that. So I was just curious if they had that in mind or if it was just a fluke. Either way, it's really neat. So, maybe, like with the trackball, because I know someone was saying trackball, or Andy was. So, maybe at some point they'll make that, they'll make that possible. Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but the Nintendo DS actually had this was a Japanese accessory, but it would work on the US version as well. But they had, for Arkanoid, they had a dial you could attach into the bottom cartridge slot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember that thing. That was pretty cool. I mean, and you never know, right? On the EXP, there are ports that could be 2-way data ports, and you could just plug in, get an accessory going on. That would be kind of cool.
And then it would just clip on the bottom. That would be neat.
And if they made it, maybe they can make some kind of plastic assembly where you could take it out of that and then put it into something makes it a little more handheld. And then have a USB adapter or something, plug it into the VS. And so you have one attachment that can be modified to be used for both the system and the handheld. So that way you don't have to create 2 accessories. So
perfect.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Do it.
It'd be very, very neat. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing all these in Tate mode. I'm actually just really I guess the big question is, how long can you hold that in your hand, right? Is it going to be that comfortable for long play? So
I was it's almost the same size as the original. So I would take the original and just kind of guesstimate that it'd be about the same thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem bad, actually.
No.
I think it'll be fine, because even the Game Boy SP I've held, and that thing is little and a lot more cramped. And I've held that. And this actually looks comfortable, so I think it'll be. Oh. We always had, we had to do something with the orientation in mind. We're always trying to seek out how to adapt the handheld to play in a comfortable, sensible way. Okay, so they kind of did have that. Yeah. They kind of did have that. That's awesome.
Very
Oh,
cool.
and speaking of which, so actually, when I'm kind of talking about like the XP, one of my polls has something to do with that.
Nice. Yeah, very
Another
cool.
reason to focus. Yeah. See, and that was, to be honest, like, well, and actually, no, I asked people, but for me, that was one of the things I was the most excited about before we knew about the Capcom collection. I'm like, this is so neat. You can turn it in Tate mode, and you can, because it's the only modern retro device or handheld right now that does that. So how cool is that?
That is cool. You wanna bring up that poll before we go to the next thing?
Yeah. That's why. Let me share. God, I'm still like looking for like the share button, but it's a yeah. So I asked people what EXP thing are you looking forward to the most? Capcom collection, new IPS screen, Tate mode, the sexiness of the new look, and I had to. I'm not, because I'm playing the VS. But the good thing is I got 65 votes, so I got quite a. Oh wow, the new IPS screen and Tate mode are tied. Oh wow, I wasn't like that.
That's kind of cool. That's and it's neat that Tate mode is actually like a sought after feature from the audience, which is really, really cool. So it should see a lot of use. It's very cool.
The new screen and Tate, those were the two things I was looking, and then the Capcom, of course. But so that doesn't surprise me that those were, that those were on top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, and anytime you get like the cool fancy screen, it's always going to be good.
Yeah, it's fun doing these polls. I like. I'm curious to see what what people think and all that. Yeah, I figured there's a few people that wouldn't be getting another VS, and of course the look of it. But yeah. And
I'm still buying it, but I'm still going to be playing everything on the VS.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so since this was brought up earlier, and then for the fun of it, so I just had to ask people, would they watch Steam Deck if I did like indie retro videos, if I made those on card, like, don't worry, Evercade, and look, out of 20, so most people said that they would. So
very cool.
That's kind of neat. Well, because and we'll talk more about this tonight, but I can, like, when somebody, like, I think I may have made like 2 videos that were kind of not really Evercade, but for the most part, my channel has been 99% and so I figure people tune into that, for that kind of content and the wackiness. And I know when I subscribe to channels, if there's like one video on something that you're into, and then they go off like on all the other things, you're like, well, no, I like that one topic, and they're not focused on that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
like, it's kind of like if you went to somebody's channel and they just had like a Pac-Man video, and you're like, okay, cool, maybe this is a retro channel. No, let's say that was the only like retro video game, but you're probably not going to sub to them.
Right.
Well, that's why I have 4 YouTube channels.
Yes.
I think too, it messes with the YouTube algorithm, because that if you kind of go off and do too many things, and I think that can mess with you reaching, certain people and whatnot. So it's just always fun to like ask people, like, what are what's in their heads and all, and all that. But back to this question. Yeah, this I thought was interesting. It was kind of funny that this wasn't the case. Like, new screen was in the mode, but was in the lead, but somebody else voted. But that's kind of the fun of.
It's very interesting to see how that poll, winds up, and and Capcom being third in line, is also interesting, because it shows, I guess, maybe people are coming to Evercade for like the cool features and the cool things that are happening with the hardware, and having all the games is really cool, but I would be interested to see if if for whatever reason we lived in like some kind of fantasy world, and instead of the Capcom collection, there was like a really cool like collection of like games that no one's ever heard of or whatever, and that was part of the deal. Would that draw more interest, or not? Ooh. It's an interesting thing. I mean, obviously Capcom's a juggernaut, and like for obvious us why it's included. But
and I think I mentioned this. I've gotten comments saying this, and I'm sure y'all have on your channel, that they said that like one of the things that drew them to the handheld was the Capcom collection, and I think like one person said that's what made them like pull the trigger on it, which I can relate, because back with the original white handheld, the Namco collections, that really like seeing that and seeing like Techno so dope like that, the nostalgia bug. I'm like, okay, cool, that kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of did it for me. So yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good,
I mean,
fun
John,
stuff.
you're absolutely right about not seeing the polls in the in like the web app and all that kind of stuff. I think that's actually a YouTube problem. A lot of times it's hard to see the polls in your feed sometimes. Like even if you have notifications on and all that kind of stuff, I miss those all the time.
They never.
The funny thing is, like, the polls, anything in the community tab won't show up in the subscription page, but you know where they do show up? Your homepage.
Yeah.
And it's just random. It's just up to Google to decide, I'm going to show this post or I'm going to show that post. And since it's the homepage, it doesn't even necessarily have to be people you're subscribed to.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how that all shows up. Like, I wish that
that's what I use. I go through that's what I go the subscription feed.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that there was like a little bit better curation for like that kind of stuff, or like a mode where like you could just go to like community and then it would show the community tabs for like all the channels you're subscribed to or whatever. So then you could like scroll like a feed, almost like a Twitter kind of thing, where you could scroll all the latest posts for all the community feeds. That'd be kind of a neat addition.
Richard, honestly, they have the notifications for everything. You should be able to have like a separate notifications for community.
Yeah,
because it is jacked up. Like, so like for us as like YouTubers to post, we have to go into the YouTube app, then go to your channel, then go to the community, and then there's not like a separate button that just says community. Like, it's almost easier in the web interface. So yeah, YouTube needs to fix that.
The one thing I wish they would do is, how like when you look at your content, there's little tabs that separate out your videos from your live streams and your community posts or whatever. Why don't they do that on the subscription page for the channels you subscribe to? Only have the videos, only have the upcoming live streams, only have the past live streams, have the community posts in another tab. That would clean everything up, because like when you put up a notification that we're doing a podcast at this time, that's when it shows up in people's feeds, and then it goes down the line further and further, making it less likely that you'll remember that it's coming up.
Right. Yeah. So and they put the little thing and they'll say notify me, but sometimes that doesn't even work.
I think Crow needs to apply to Google, be like, I can fix it. I'm the UI czar. Yeah. But but the thing that's neat though, and that to kind of raise awareness to the community tab, is I don't post nearly as much to Twitter, because I feel like Twitter goes out there, but I really like using the YouTube app, because then I'm talking to y'all directly. I'm talking to the audience that I care about. So that's what's
well, the notification thing for whenever I click on it does work, because I always get notified on my phone when things are coming up.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, check out my latest Evercade short.
That one's pretty crazy.
I'm proud of that.
Like some like alternative retro KillDashNines are showing up, fighting each other.
I'm probably the one weirdo that watches shorts on the web browser on my PC.
I've done
actually, they're starting to integrate. They're starting to integrate that more into like smart TVs, and it's neat to watch on Fire TV. But yeah, shorts are just really fun, because you can just kind of do whatever. But what's like how that kind of came to be, like especially like the one like my nemesis or whatever, that's with the black hoodie pulled over me. That's when it was like a lot colder out. And so since so sometimes when I'm like going on my walk, I'm like, maybe I just kind of had the idea to do some type of fight. So, you just kind of like film a bunch of stuff. And then when I went out like the next day, and then that's when I just have to, like, when I grab my, my broken Evercade to do that. And then tell the wife, like, don't ask.
It's a good time. It's definitely a good time.
But yeah, it's really fun just to be able to do neat, weird things, maybe try to draw people. But I'm really glad that YouTube has at least they've made that more integrated, because I really didn't want to have to go do TikTok. Although I will say, seeing the official Evercade TikToks are kind of cool. I don't know if you guys do that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple like randomly on the
Discord,
on the web. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty neat stuff. So let's get into the next article, which is another one from Pete Davison, and it's the top 5 shoot 'em ups, which is kind of cool.
Give an experience.
Oh, nice. Very
you
cool.
say Pete Davison, cool. like Saturday Night Live? No, I'm sorry, like not that Pete Davison. But that's what
I think that's how it's pronounced. I mean, Sean could just correct me. But... All right, cool. So let me share this. These lists are always fun to go through and see what Blaze thinks. What is their top 5 recommendations? And already you can see some that are like definite for sure. So let's go up here. Number 1 is Galaga.
Yes.
I mean, it's a classic, right? Like you gotta. I think you gotta throw that in there. I mean, that or Galaxian, right? Like one of the two has to be on this list.
Is Galaxian on one of the Namco collections? I can't remember.
So. Isn't it?
Yes. No, Galaxian's on the first one.
Galaga's on the second one.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I know that because I always wish that like the Galaga and Pac-Man and Dig Dug were on the same collection.
Because if you're going for like how do I put it? The original, like it's on it because it's the one that kind of started the whole genre or whatever. Well, just because there's no Space Invaders, no Tate collection. Would the next one just be Galaxian and not Galaga, since Galaxian is the prequel to Galaga?
I mean,
it's a completely different game too. The whole scoring with that is different in that you want to like the order. I can't remember if it's Galaga or Galaxian, but I think it's Galaxian, where the closer they come to your ship, the more points they're worth. But also the order in which you shoot them depends on alters their point values as well.
That I didn't know. I
want to say anybody who's like been to an arcade has at least played or not seen like Galaga and Pac-Man. You know what I mean? So like it's like those, those are probably like the two most popular. Unless you're a freak. No, but seriously though. I mean,
yeah. I mean, as far as Galaga for me, like how many times have you put in like Tekken 3 or something like that, and then you just restarted your PlayStation just so you could play Galaga?
You don't need to reset it. There's actually something you could do to let you play it, continue playing it, not actually start the game.
Oh, really?
I can't remember what it was though, but you can, you don't have to be forced to start the game.
Yeah, I thought that was always like a neat thing, and the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, did I get the wrong game here? Like, what happened? And it's it was a weird thing to be happening, but it did help out with some of those load time waits, that's for sure.
I was gonna say fun fact for the Amiga, because their tapes were digital, and because of that they would have 2 copies of a game, so they would load a lot slower, but they were better error correcting. But the devs got really creative. And like on some of them, they had like Space Invaders, like a playable version of Space Invaders that you could play. Like, well, because back in the day, those games would take 2 to 5 minutes, which makes you feel spoiled. But anyways, that reminded me of that. But yeah, definitely Galaga had to be. I think
I could agree. There's there's always room for Galaga on a list like this.
Everything else is maybe a little bit subjective, but
yeah. So next you got Xeno Crisis.
Here's the funny thing is I didn't count this as a shoot 'em up.
Yeah, I mean it's like a. This is like it's kind of like it's like a twin stick, right? Like it's
but it's not twin stick. Is it twin stick? I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it.
It is, but it's not on the Evercade.
Yeah, it's a like you move via the D-pad, but all of you have directional shooting via the.
It's like Smash TV, Total Carnage, Robotron,
games like that. Yeah,
and I don't classify those games as shoot 'em ups, even though you are shooting stuff up. So what is the definition of a shoot 'em up?
Okay.
Right. Oh yeah, arena shooter. I could be down with that kind of descriptor. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I looked in Steam, it says it's an arena shooter, but when you look at the popular user defined tags, top down shooter.
Yeah.
Is one of them. Okay.
I would let it slide because Xeno Crisis is such a great game.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I think this particular category, shoot 'em ups, it's always vertical or horizontal, side scrolling. You're a ship. You're shooting things.
Exactly. And I think because it's the freedom of movement, and you hit the nail on the head, Rich, because you're not like a ship or a tank or or something. But yeah, it's such a great game. Yeah, I think that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, it's Xeno Crisis. It's crazy. I mean, I still can't get through the thing because I am like such old man mode. Like there needs to be some kind of like, oh hey, we figured out a way later on to be like, hey, if you hit these buttons, you can get your, like your equivalent to like a, Game Genie code or something like that.
There
you
are,
actually get
there
to
are
get
built-in cheats. I thought like initially
doesn't
like
it
they were
alter
like
the game though when you like activate them and you don't get a certain thing, like you don't like get a good ending or something like that?
Yes, that's what I was. Yeah, that too. But like even when you beat it on an easy mode, you don't get like
true.
Here's the thing. You have to beat it without if you get on an easy mode, you still get the good ending. You cannot continue.
Yeah.
And it's because they built it into the plot. But it's very rewarding. You're like, oh yeah, that makes.
So here's the thing, though. If this is a shoot 'em up, if this can be considered a shoot 'em up, would you consider Alligator Hunt to be a shoot 'em up?
Oh yeah, I mean, so almost. It's like but that's like an arcade shooter. Then so then are you going like, well, is Terminator 2 arcade like a shoot 'em
Well,
up?
that one is clearly different because you actually have a gun.
Well, that's true. That's true. And and in Alligator Hunt, you still are controlling a character, albeit on a skateboard, and like it's weird moving, but yes.
Well, even when you get past
don't forget too that
a spaceship.
Don't forget too when I'm sure when Sean creates this list, there's probably certain games that he wants to highlight, like, hey, check out this cool game on the Evercade. So is it a stretch? Yeah, but I get
kind of technically any game where you're shooting something can be a shoot 'em up.
Can be a shoot 'em up, yeah. I mean, so I think Rigatoni hit it on the head. Because I just had Gelco 1 and 2 in the VS this week. I want to say when you highlight the game, it does say crosshair shooter on Alligator Hunt before you do it. Like,
interesting. I wonder what it says for.
I think they actually.
What did he title this? Did he? Is this titled shoot 'em ups or shmups or what's
shoot? Our top five of our top 5 shoot 'em ups on Evercade.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Is the article's name. So.
You know what genre it's actually comes up as in the Evercade? Comes up as action.
Action. Well, Alligator Hunt.
No, Xenocrisis.
Oh, Xenocrisis, yeah. That makes.
I think he just wanted to showcase it.
But it's like, it's like, hey, this is a great game.
Yeah.
You should play it.
All right.
All right. Let's see. What we're going on. Gates' Zendikon makes the list from Atari Lynx 2.
I mean, I'd have to compile my own list to see if I'd put Gates' Zendikon on. I did like it. I don't know if it's actually what I put in my top 5.
I think this one might be one of those. If I was compiling my own list, it's definitely a contender because I really liked it. However, I'm not sure if I wouldn't be able to find 5 other games that would knock it out. Like this might be number 6, like right, real close, just edged out by another title or something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Like the Renovation Collection could knock out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think these lists specifically are trying to highlight things that, like, oh, hey, these are our top 5 because we want to make sure that you're looking at more than just one collection, right? Because easily you could be like, oh, hey, here's Renovation Collection. There's the top 5 shoot 'em ups, and in someone's opinion, they could be all on that one collection, But yeah. 0 point. Don't you call beat 'em ups fighting games over there? I delineate. Like if it is like a 2-player against like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, that's a fighting game to me.
Yes.
But Streets of Rage, like Double Dragon, that's a beat 'em up. Yeah.
100%.
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be 2 players because I'd consider like Super Smash Brothers to be a fighting game. And that's a 4-player type deal. Yeah. Or even 8-player at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, but Gates is a cool game. I think it's neat. I think it's quirky. It's definitely something that I'm like, I enjoy playing it. And sometimes even more, I think I enjoy playing it more than some of the games that I know would be on a list of top 5 shoot 'em ups, just like because objectively they are awesome and may beat out Gates of Zendikon on the list. But I love playing this game. I really do enjoy.
Well, what else is neat about it? If you play it like on normal mode, it's kind of like an easier, like chill experience. But if you put it on hard, oh my god, it's like
like it's brilliant. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I like games like that. Like you can replayability. Yeah, I agree, Rich, because for the uniqueness, like something like this. Plus for like handheld, like you got to highlight something from a Link's collection.
Yeah. Power Stone to me is still a fighting game. Yeah. But it's fantastic as well.
Yeah, Power Stone is a fighting game.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got everybody's evenly matched. There's no, like, we could have all the players play as all the characters, and they all have like the same health bar. Beat 'em
Actually, I'm gonna be that guy. Power Stone 2 is a lot better. Like that's the one to play.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, I'll take either one though.
Of course,
of course. Just like give me some of that, because that's, oh man, those games are so good. I miss the Dreamcast. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Guy Aris.
Good. Yes, of course.
This is definitely on there. I was kind of looking at my rankings, and I think this is the second highest shoot 'em up on my list.
Yeah. I mean, this game is so good. You know, like I just going through it when I did renovation last month, I don't even know why it took me so long to get into that game and play it. Like I played it a little bit right when renovation dropped. I was like, oh, let me put it in, play it for a little bit. Okay. And then I thought that, ironically enough here, Nicholas here is talking about it. I thought Soldice was going to be the one. They're like, oh yeah, Soldice. I remember playing that on a Sega CD. It was awesome, and it's probably going to be the one for me as far as the shoot 'em ups on renovation. And then I like really sat down and played Guy Aris. I'm like, wow, this game is crazy. And I had such a blast. I had such a blast playing Guy Aris.
So while we're on the topic of Genesis shooters, what would be great that I hope maybe we'd get in 2023 would be, y'all know that they re-released Glay, if I'm saying it right, Glay Lancer. Like, and that not only which is like $500 by itself, never came to the United States. Now a company released like a limited edition of it on a physical card, an English translation, and I think there's like 2,500 copies. So I'm wondering, maybe once like that sells out, that we could see like that translated version like on Evercade would be.
Well, maybe
I've never played it, but it looks like it would be cool. But yeah, I love these Genesis shooters are awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I'm so glad that that renovation is one of the collections that exists for us here on the Evercade side, because it is just a really awesome mix of things.
So one thing I do want to throw out there, because I know Ethercade, he did a video like, will there be like a renovation collection too? And I think and in the Discord that was like a lot of chat back and forth. People are saying, well, I don't know what other games would be translated. I'll throw this out there to Blaze. If a game is in Japanese, but it's still playable, as long as maybe they put like some disclaimer or what, like this is only available in the Japanese language. I don't think it needs to be translated. Like if it's an awesome shoot 'em up or something, yeah, you can't read the story, but for me, I'm like, who cares? As long as you can play it, like don't let that hold you all back.
Yeah, I mean, and as long as controls are translated, and you show on the screen like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and
exactly
this is how to get past a screen or something like that. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
That's all you would need to know. Like the different buttons have it preset, and you could just go, 100% Rich. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm curious. Is Soldice the next one?
Yeah, let's see. And I think this is the last one, right? Let's go down and see what it is. Oh, trucks.
Oh yeah, this is the one that it's on a collection that nobody has yet.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, that's fine. But this is it. I mean, it's also evergreen content for them. Like they don't have to they could just leave it up, and eventually Total Plan will be out. I mean, it's right around the corner, so it is a renowned shooter. Like people love this game, so it is something that makes a little bit of sense. And there's lots of them, right? There's lots of shoot 'em ups that could have been considered, but like Truxton being so heavy, like it being on there, I'm letting this slide a little more than on the RPG list when they put put two games that we can't get.
Yeah.
When the list came out, they weren't.
Wow. I mean, they snuck in Breath of Fire.
Yeah.
They did omit my favorite shoot 'em up on the Evercade.
Oh, nice.
The one that completely blew me away. Where's Cybattler?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a great game.
Yeah,
it is absolutely a great game. I mean, there's some others that are on here that I don't know.
Like Saint Dragon was pretty unique too. And
that's another great one. Yeah, there's all sorts. I mean, again, I mean, this could be a top 10 list, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and it would be legitimate, like all great games.
Like Dragon Spirit.
Yeah. That. I mean, but even like even some classic shoot 'em ups too. Like, you know, maybe it's because I have some rose tinted glasses for it, but I'd put Xevious on a list. You know, because why not? I mean, it's a classic game. I really like it. You know, it's very cool. Yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we realize it. We realize it.
So since we did bring up Breath of Fire real quick, to me that is going to be like the most the most dangerous game on the handheld. And what I mean by that is, think about it. You have a new modern retro console, all the awesomeness. You start playing that game for 10 minutes, you're done. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's gonna that's gonna take over to be even more so than like a Cathedral or anything, because it's like, here's a Capcom RPG that's fantastic that you've never or haven't really played before. So it's just like, I think when you play that, just expect to give up the next 35 hours of your gaming life.
Wow.
But I think actually,
or maybe it's just me, but that's why I say that's dangerous.
Well, I was gonna say, being on the Evercade though, you're not stuck waiting for a save point. You could just save state whenever you want. So
that's
you
true.
Play for 10 minutes, save state. Okay,
That's
go
true.
do what you need to.
You actually, you know what? You got to be careful with that, because what on Pico 1? What's that really good RPG? I can't remember that.
The Brave Battle or Canon?
Yeah, the Brave Battle Saga, because there was an issue where I accidentally derped it, and like I saved over my save states, and one of them, like, I was in the middle of a boss, and I was actually forced to I hadn't, like, the real save I hadn't done in a while, so I was actually forced to complete that boss fight. Luckily I did, but it was like a little frustrating. So that is one thing you have to. I think, you know, with the quick save,
you get a whole bunch of save states. So
I know
I do this on every game where I have to alternate.
That's when I first got my Evercade, and I was dumb. But you know what I mean. But so it's like, do normal saves too.
Poor Xevious. It's the non-fat vanilla ice cream of shoot 'em ups.
That game, I mean, you know what? I have that,
taken, but
I have like the Namco's the Namco collections on my PS4, and there's like a Super Xevious, and it's just as hard and frustrating. But yeah, no kidding.
I mean, well, I had Xevious on the 7800, so like that was my Xevious, was the 7800 version, and I used to play that game all the time, like hours and hours and hours of that game, and just like, I don't know what it is, but it just, anytime I see it on a collection, whatever, it's like, yeah, let me just.
All I know is
it's a good game.
It's insanely popular in Japan. That's why it shows up everywhere.
Yeah. So.
Was that the last one, or was there anything?
I think that was the last one.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. But I mean, I can't wait to get my hand. Yeah, this was the last one.
Keep doing them, Sean. It gives us content. I mean, we enjoy. It's really
great. It's great going through these lists. It's awesome.
If you want content, we still have collections we haven't even looked at yet.
Yeah, I mean, we have yet to dive back in and go. And we're on Morphcat. It's staring me in the face.
So here's what's interesting. So here's what's interesting about that. I've kind of realized, well, it is fun to do the collections. I think sometimes when we just talk about that, we do just get a little bit burnt out, as you know, just like focusing on the collections. And that was in the beginning of Evercast. And I want to say our audience has grown so much, and people become like so interactive and so awesome. Like, it's become a lot more fluid. And I think we just have a lot of fun talking about like so many things, like Evercade related in general. And there's been a lot of big news, and we'll go back to the collections. But I think we've been having a lot of fun, and our audience is incredible, and I think because of all of you,
that's right, 100%, 100%,
and we enjoy that.
And it's actually really awesome too, because as we're going through all of these things and seeing how the show goes. I mean, right now it's the holidays. You want to hang out, and it's awesome just to be able to just sit here and hang out with you guys and chat. Cool gaming stuff. So, it's really, really awesome. Which I guess brings us to, before we go to chat Q&A and all that kind of stuff, things we're thankful for. And for me, I mean, this is it, right? I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for you guys hanging out, the community. I'm thankful for having this cool little device to just, hang out and play with and talk about. It's it's an awesome time. It's an awesome time. It's really, really cool. It's what, for me personally, it's what keeps me coming back every week, is just to be able to hang out with everybody and chat. So
dude, 100%. And I'll be completely honest, because I do get bored of like video games, everything move on. If I never got involved in the community and I never had a YouTube channel, I don't think I would still be this involved and still be loving Evercade. I mean, I kid you not. I would still have it. I would never get rid of it, but I think I would just be more selective, maybe occasionally getting a collection. It wouldn't be something that like I really enjoy collecting and exploring, but finding a community and finding it, because I said, like, without a community, I'm just like some dude like playing games on myself. And I don't like that. It's, we've talked about before, like, it's the Evercade experience. It's like getting the curated collection, getting the physical media, and getting all those neat things. So that's why I say, even though you see the big Steam Deck behind me, by no means does that replace it, because there's a lot of things that, like, that Evercade does that Steam Deck don't. I don't know. you know what I mean? And there's like a reason, like, it's a specific niche device, and that's why if it becomes popular and everyone has it, it's okay. If it doesn't, I mean, if I'm being kind of honest, I want it to be more popular, but like, I don't want it to be like too popular where it's like, I think it's in a great spot. I think there's a very specific audience, like, for for Evercade, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, when you find like one of those like bands and like they're unknown, and then like you get in them and they become popular, and you're like, man, I don't know, maybe that's kind of a weird analogy. And because Evercade, or Blaze is successful, I don't think, and they're not trying to compete with like, Nintendo or Valve or Microsoft. They're in their own niche, and
no, it's a good time, for sure. So
I think it's funny that you said you wouldn't be as involved in it if it wasn't for YouTube. But for me, I know I would be, because I was actually making videos before YouTube even existed.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Because what I would do is, there was when I was in the military, on the base, there was a rental store that would rent out PlayStation games. This was when the PlayStation was like brand new. I'd literally go there like every day and rent a game like every day, and I'd record it on a VHS tape what I was playing, and then I would edit the footage with 2 VCRs.
That's awesome.
Do you still have that footage?
That's some
I do.
editing.
It's all on videotape.
That's really
but
cool.
You should make a compilation of that. You should start to release some of that on your.
It already exists. It's on my Crow Capture channel.
Oh yeah.
I need to. Okay.
Huh.
It's anything that's labeled as like PSX, VHS, something.
But do we see a younger Crow make an appearance?
Cool.
No, it's just video.
Capture.
That's why it's on the Crow Capture,
okay.
because it's just it's not even technically capture footage. It's just plugging the PlayStation into the VCR and pressing record.
That's
dude, that's awesome. Well, for me, and I know Rich feels strongly about this too. It's one thing, like, it's cool to discover, but it's great to like share it with the world, and then to get people's feedback and be like, yeah, I like this, and then that like feeds excitement. So then when you put out something, you see other people are excited. That at least for me, it makes me more excited. It makes me want to like to just dive into it. It's kind of like it's like a revolving door. It works.
Yeah.
It works for, and the fact that it's that it's physical media, so it's the blessing and the curse of Evercade, right? Because sometimes we have to wait for months, but then it's kind of cool that like you have the physical media, and that and again, it's like the fact that like I can't just go to my local store and buy it. Although what I mean, like it's a niche item, like it's a little bit more difficult to obtain because it is physical in the climate we live in. Like it sucks waiting like we have to, but at the same time, it kind of makes it more neat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
But here it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
That these are.
Oh wow!
Yes, yes, the case.
Yeah, actually, these are the tapes
Wow.
because they're all labeled with whiteout.
You were ahead
That's
of your time.
awesome. That is really cool.
doing that.
That's awesome. I wish I still had some of that stuff from back in the day. I didn't do like video capture kind of things, but I did a lot of audio back in the day, where it was like before podcasts were podcasts. I would used to pretend I had a radio station. So I'd like record episodes of like me talking like I had just played a song or whatever, but then for 30 minutes I just go on these tangents to talk about random things, usually always video games and movies and like that kind of stuff. And I had a case just like that filled with audio cassettes. I wish I had those. I wish I had those. That would be a good time to go back.
I was going to say,
what did 14-year-old Rich have to say?
You can't really see it. I wonder if I get angle of the TV, but I got two TVs back there. There's a VCR hooked up to them.
Yep.
Oh wow,
that's good times.
I mean, I do have like from when I was I do have like a project that I did like for history, like a mail delivery, and I do like from like I went to the Art Institute. I do have some animation. I don't know. Maybe when I get to like 1,000 subs or I have a Patreon, maybe I'll release something. Looking back, it's like super cringe and embarrassing. So maybe
I still have a pilot episode for a television show that was actually supposed to be like, just put a the actual assignment was like, make a 7.5 or like an 8-minute segment for a TV show or like a web show. The assignment needed like you had to have a switch between 2 cameras and you had to have lighting and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But I wound up over the course of that week, I like wrote an entire episode of a video game program that I had as a pilot. As a pilot. And then I taped it, and I again somewhere maybe in the house, maybe not, I don't know, but there exists it's one of those special DV tapes that you need like a pro DV deck to read. I had a recording of that episode. Like, if I could ever find it,
dude, that would be awesome.
Someone that actually adds a pro deck so I could get it off of that format. Then wow. I would love to see that.
But the other thing for community, and I wish, if Pete watches the replay, he'll catch it. But it was interesting because when I was first getting into Evercade, it was Pete, and then there was you, Crow, and Rich. And it was interesting because like Crow would go like he would be all like technical and like give his ratings, and then I would just like see you, Rich, I'd see you and like and like Pete just like chatting it up and being like casual about it. So it was like totally two different. Different takes, but it was neat though. I mean, it was something they got excited, and they're like, here I am, part of the Evercast. So it's it's a great, it's a great community, and that's and so from the other perspective, not being part of everything, just like seeing people talk about it. I mean, it's just it's exciting.
Absolutely.
It's one of those neat things, and I think especially now. This year, we've really seen a lot of momentum, and I can't wait to see in 2023. Maybe peripherals, no new consoles. It should just be focused on the titles and the firmware updates and features. And
for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of games right there in that list for like an Amiga upcoming collection. That's cool. I'd play some of those for sure.
I think the toy collector has a great. I don't. What happened? There we go.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome. If it's just finding them, I guess, to like tap them on the shoulder. And speaking of, developers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's been a while since we had anyone over in the Blaze family over. I mean, we should probably send some invites over that way too.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I need to reach
we've
out.
Never gotten to talk to. Who's elusive? It was Amy, like the person who did like all their artwork. Like I know, that'd be great. It'd be great to have it for sure. Because I want to ask, like, how do you come up with all this stuff? Like, it's fantastic. Like, what's the design process?
Yeah.
But realistically, though, maybe some people like from like the indie heroes, like they're probably like I never thought of that. Might be they're probably attainable. We can probably they may.
Mm-hmm.
They may respond. But yeah, it'd be curious to see, like you said, like is somebody who like worked on like from Data East like still out there somewhere?
Yeah,
who knows?
That'd be really neat. And there's a lot of history out there, because you can find somebody that was part of these original development teams out there willing to talk. Yeah. Oh hey, what's up, Atari Creep? Yeah, the answer is absolutely, man. Yeah, they announced.
Yeah, that was announced. Yeah.
They didn't announce the actual collection of like what's in the collection, but yes, they are working with Amiga, and there will be another one of these blue guys coming out, and instead of C64, it'll say Amiga on it.
Well, as soon as they announced the C64 collection, my bet was the next one was going to be Amiga.
Oh yeah, I mean I totally did that. Yes, for sure.
I'm hoping they surprise us and maybe do like an Amiga DOS.
Awesome.
I don't have Super 8. VHS is as far back as I go.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah, Andy Davison. Current release date for EXP is 15 December for sure. Yes.
Hopefully we'll have it in our hands. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping like at some point, like let's say like maybe like December 7th or 8th. I'm hoping that that Sean will say, hey, everything is going according to plan. So far there aren't any delays, or maybe like early, or like early December. And then Funstock, if you ordered from them, they ship them out early, and then we have it in our hands on the 15th. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm thinking, as long as if we make it through and the end of next week without any other news, right? So that's December 2nd. If it's good to go, email should go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from Funstock about shipping for international audiences. And then the way my luck has been going, Monday, Tuesday, like the 12th or 13th usually would be like that was a box that arrives at the house. So I'm getting pumped. We're right around there. But yeah, with all of this news and stuff like that, I mean, actually that winds up getting all the way back to why we were not necessarily doing collections right now. That's the other thing, right? It's the holidays. We're right on the cusp of EXP. We're doing all this other stuff and just hanging out and chatting about random things.
And I think secretly, like, we never want to get caught up with the collections because we always have collections to talk about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you got to have some for the lull, right?
Well,
waiting for the next collection to talk.
You could probably what you could do is actually just talk about one game every episode.
Oh my goodness!
You don't want to milk it.
It would never end.
Yeah, exactly.
It would never. Always have content.
Ooh, MSX. Doesn't Microsoft own like the BIOSes for that?
No. Well, isn't Konami only?
There's a
MSX
Konami,
stuff?
maybe. Huh.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is Konami that owns the
okay
BIOS rights for
that would
MSX. That would be that'd be neat though, for sure. But anyway, there was a question in the back that I wanted to see maybe if we wanted to do that there. Oh yeah, just like some future wish casting there for 0 Point. He asked, you guys think Blaze will bring out a new version of the VS at some point, obviously, because there is a revision of the handheld. My answer to that question is not right now, but if there ever was to be a new VS, the only reason I see for them to put out a new VS is because they figured out a way to emulate consoles of a higher power.
But you know what would happen though? If it was different, there'd have to be a new handheld to go along with it.
Well, I mean, but that's why I'm saying, like again, I don't think they're even pursuing that right now because again, there's so many things they could be doing. There's so many games, there's so many all these other things like accessories, all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, the VS and the EXP by comparison are going to be powerful enough for just about everything that we would want right now. So that's where I'm sitting at it. But you always got to say never, right?
Yeah, but I'm gonna say no for one reason. So it's just kind of like because if you look at their mission, like kind of like their mission statement, physical media, just like they're never gonna have a digital store, and they said purposely like that PlayStation is the area, like the highest area that they want to go into. And the reason for that, I don't believe it's a reason for cost, because if they did want to go into like the higher, if they did want to go into that higher market, I think that maybe they would have made the VS be more powerful, but it would have been more expensive. Right, but then you're getting into Polymega. I think purposely they want to capture that era from like Atari all the way up to PS1. Like that's a specific genre of retroness, right? So that's why I don't think that they would do. I mean, could they release like a special edition? Like, could we see a purple one or whatever? Sure. But as far as like with something new, I don't think they would do that unless maybe 5 years from now they decide, oh, hey, maybe we actually want to do some PS2 or Dreamcast. I don't think they don't want to, because then it also puts them in a category of those handheld devices into the Steam Deck. They have to be a lot more expensive, and I don't think they want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can do a lot with it. I think that the new handheld, the EXP, was to complement the VS. I don't think it's the other. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't think it's the other way around. Like now they're both equal. Now anything that they do online, if they do leaderboards, if they do all these great things, firmware updates, hidden games, all that stuff matches. So the ecosystem is merged.
Yeah,
so,
it brings it into parity.
Like you said, Rich, never say never, but yeah. I don't see for a while, other than pure cosmetic.
Yeah, well, I mean, and 0 Point actually brings up that, you know, the designs don't match now. I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. Like the white VS looks more aesthetically closer to the original handheld than the EXP. But yeah, I mean, that's a case revision. They could always just put out, just say, hey, if you want a new sleek looking, VS to look like your handheld, here's some, you know, like the extra just plastic components or whatever, and then they could put it out in different colors or whatever.
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
Well, in order to do that, I guess it would depend on how easy it would be to reshell it in order for them to do this.
Because
I mean,
because the other thing is that too, Evercade not only is it towards collectors, it's also towards, like, you know, people on a budget. So they don't want to do a Nintendo and put out too many revisions. You know what I mean? Like they don't want it to, otherwise, and it seems like a cash grab. I think they're where they need to be as far as for their main hardware lines, and I think it's just cosmetic. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, the question was at some point. So yes, at some point, possibly yes. Maybe 20 years from now. That's some point in the future.
yeah.
I say give it 5. I say give it 5 years.
Yeah,
that's what I predict. I don't know.
So. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So,
I don't think anybody's going to say that next year there's going to be a new VS.
No, I mean definitely.
No.
I would definitely not say that for sure.
Well, then the next VS would have to have 4 card slots. No, I don't know.
4 card slots. Nice.
But think about it though. They come out with, like, Samsung, Apple come out with new cell phones every year.
Mm-hmm.
People buy them every year.
Yeah.
So what? It's like, what if we get into this pattern where every 2 years there's a new handheld and a new console, like alternating every year?
Oh man.
Well, and then the other thing, again, I have no insider knowledge of this, but just the telepathy link that I have right now with Sean. I'm thinking that the VS console, and I'm thinking the handheld that's coming. I think when Blaze formed a company, I think this is ultimately where they wanted to be, is where they are now. But obviously, starting out, like, they couldn't do that, right? You know what I mean? Like,
well, when you say that when they formed the company, you know, they've been around for a lot longer than the than the
Evercade. Okay, you're right. Okay, when they formed the concept of the Evercade, I think this is their I think these two consoles are ultimately where they wanted to be, and you know, they were smart about it. Like, hey, let's just throw something out there, something cheaper. Let's see if people like it, and then over time. So I think now that they're at that point, you know, So I don't know. Like I said, that's the telepathy link that I have. I'm thinking.
So all right, yeah, awesome conversations, awesome times. Let's get into some final thoughts. What you guys got?
Oh, yeah,
coming
we started
up?
on time, so we actually have a little more time.
Yeah, exactly. What you guys got coming up?
Well, I need to keep working on the Galco Arcade 2 collection. I could have been done with it, but I kind of got lazy and I started playing some stupid game on Steam last couple days. So,
Nice.
So I still have that. So it's like I'm about 11 minutes into like a half-hour video editing it. But then immediately after that, I got to start playing the Commodore 64 collection.
Nice.
And then by the time that I get through those 14 games, that the EXE will probably be out. But by then I'll still have the Cathedral and Alwa's Awakening cartridge,
that's right. Yeah,
which I'm getting on Tuesday.
Nice. Oh man, it's about time that you're finally getting that thing.
Well, I was originally supposed to get it yesterday, and in fact, all day yesterday, Amazon was like, "You're going to get it today by 10 p.m." But usually, when they say that, you're not getting it that day.
Don't trust the 10 p.m. No.
And especially when I look at the tracking and it hasn't even shipped yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, but it actually shipped out on Friday, so I'll be getting it Tuesday.
But Cathedral's another dangerous one. I mean, that's the main. I mean, that's the main game that I've been, that I've been playing. I mean, it ticks all those boxes. If you like those Metroidvania RPG, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's funny is like like for a lot of these games, I've been spending at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours on these simple arcade games. So it would be kind of nice to actually, sit and play a game for longer than that and not repeat again and again, trying to different things. There were some games like I spent like on World Rally 2, almost 2 or 3 hours on that.
Dude, I don't think I've spent 20 minutes. I don't know. Good for you, man. Good. I mean,
you got to beat the game.
Yeah.
But that's what's great though. Like there's different varieties. I mean, there's something for everybody. But I think though too, like as a content creator, I think that's one of the things that I do. Sometimes you do have to fight like wanting to play stuff versus putting out content. So speaking of that, Cathedral really sucked me in, but with the Commodore 64 collection, kind of sort of like in television too, like I give my first impressions, but I really wanted to go through it, spend more time and kind of see like after now of going through and playing the game. So then I had to take away from Cathedral time, go back and play, and there's 14 games that are on there, which is quite a lot. So I went through and I ranked all of them. As a matter of fact, which was a lot of work because you have to go through, capture the footage, give your thoughts, make it all nice. So that's what I have coming out on Tuesday.
Very cool.
And I'm excited about, because it's different than my two first impression videos. So that, and then I hear there's this other podcast calling all retro gamers that's coming on tonight. And so if you want to hear more about like why I got the Steam Deck and all those good things and what, kind of like why I chose that. Maybe some people are going to do for card. You're going to want to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
That's right.
All that.
Part of the reason I don't do like the initial impression videos is because a lot of these games I've already played before.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to give like a fresh impression if you've
I mean, I guess you could do that with like the Indie Heroes one, but I'd rather just play it and figure it out. And
nice.
Make one video.
Very cool. So, but yeah, so on over here, yes, It is about time. We are going to the arcades. And over here on the bacon ice cream side of things, and starting on Monday, Technos 1, then Data East, then Gelco 1 and 2 on Wednesday. You get a double fun for 5. And then I've got Atari Arcade 1 in my VS right now, so I'm going to do that over the next 2 days, as well as Gelco Arcade 1, and then boom, I've done all of the arcades in one for Fun for 5s, and that'll take me to C64 and almost as far as those things go, which is awesome. So it'll be neat.
Nice.
It'll be neat.
Yeah, I like that you're doing the arcade. I like you doing the arcades.
He said, "Don't forget the hidden game," and that's on the C64. I wouldn't count that as part of the C64 collection because you don't need that cartridge to play that game. But the hidden game on the Gelco Arcade 2, I would consider to be part of that collection.
Yes, and I did actually in the Gelco 1 and 2 video, I did go over that hidden game for it, but
I thought about that. But here's the reason. So here's the reason that I don't is because I hate having to put that code in every single time. You know what I mean?
For which one?
Just any game that you have to put in just the code to unlock. It's annoying.
You know what the code for the hidden game in Galco is just to highlight Maniac Square and then hold all 4 shoulder buttons. It's nothing to remember.
No, but I mean like
which hidden game on Galco too?
I'm just saying, like, as gamers, we're lazy, just have to go in and type. So for me, I want to cover some more of that stuff. Like once we can actually add it permanently, and unlock it. And then when we have it on the EXP, it's easier for me to like plug that in the capture footage than to have to like go in the other room, unhook the VS, and which I do from time to time. I said, dude,
the hidden game on Gelco 2 is no, it's Maniac Square.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
prototype.
yeah,
I forgot about that.
Which, even though it's a prototype, it's a completely different game.
Well, it's not hidden. It's on Galco 2.
But you have to.
It is, but you have to unlock.
It's on the back.
That's Maniac Square. I'm talking about Maniac Square prototype.
Oh,
it's a completely different game.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I pulled footage from both of those a while ago, but
I didn't do the prototype. Yeah. I didn't do the prototype, but
it's totally different. Yeah, it's almost. I'm glad they included it. It's almost better.
Dang is another one where you have to have both cartridges inserted.
So
that is not part of 1 or 2. I consider it to be a bonus, an extra game, a hidden game.
Indeed. So I'm being invaded currently, which means I have officially run out of time. So I will thank everyone for hanging out with us and chilling in the chat. It's amazing as always to be hanging out with you guys. Hope to see you guys next week for more Evercade goodness. And until then, we'll see you later, guys.
Oh, am I supposed to hit a button? I forget.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What? I didn't even have it ready. Okay, here we go.
All right. Oh, it didn't happen. All right. See you guys.